Good evening. Welcome to Washington. I'm Brett Baer. The reality TV star, billionaire businessman who made "You're fired" a catchphrase, used it this afternoon in what is turning out to be, judging by the reaction, his most controversial move yet as commander-in-chief. President Trump's dismissal of FBI Director James Comey has rocked political Washington, and Democrats quickly tried to link the action directly to the investigation of a possible connection between the Trump campaign and the Russians before the election. Demands for a special prosecutor are louder tonight, and Democrats are even jumping to Watergate comparisons. Chief White House correspondent John Roberts starts us off tonight from the North Lawn. Good evening, John.
Brett, good evening to you. The FBI director was fired for usurping the authority of then Attorney General Loretta Lynch when he announced the results of the investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails last July. But the president's opponents were quick to make the firing about him and not the FBI director. There were handshakes from his police escort on the tarmac in Los Angeles as James Comey boarded the FBI jet for the final time. While it was the president who fired Comey, White House sources say it was the newly minted Deputy Attorney General, Rod Rosenstein, who had lost confidence in Comey. Sources say Rosenstein, who was confirmed just 14 days ago, assessed the situation and determined that Comey should be replaced. Democrats, who had recently praised Rosenstein's integrity, could not question the man, only the timing of the action.
The first question the administration has to answer is why now? If the administration had objections to the way Director Comey handled the Clinton investigation, they had those objections the minute the president got into office. But they didn't fire him then. Why did it happen today?
Exactly when Comey's tenure became a problem for the administration is unclear. In this March speech to Boston College, Comey seemed to think he was safe.
You're stuck with me for about another 6.5 years.
But his testimony last week before the Senate Judiciary Committee appeared to seal his fate.
Director Comey had lost the confidence of the rank-and-file within the FBI. He'd certainly, I think, lost the confidence from members of both sides, Republicans and Democrats in the House and the Senate. And frankly, most importantly, Tucker, he lost the confidence of the American people.
The president's attitude toward Comey has been a roller coaster. Last July, he was incensed at Comey's decision not to press charges against Hillary Clinton.
Today is the best evidence ever that we've seen that our system is absolutely, totally rigged. It's rigged.
After Comey reopened that investigation in late October, President Trump did an about-face.
And it took guts for Director Comey to make the move that he made.
And when the two men finally met after the inauguration, Comey got a warm handshake, a pat on the shoulder, and whispered words from the president. Just 3 hours before the firing, Press Secretary Sean Spicer was asked about Comey.
Does the president still have confidence, full confidence in FBI Director James Comey?
I have no reason to believe. I haven't asked him. So I have not asked the president.
The president showed no reluctance nor regret in firing Comey. In his letter of termination, writing, quote, "While I greatly appreciate you informing me on 3 separate occasions that I am not under investigation, I nevertheless concur with the judgment of the Department of Justice that you are not able to effectively lead the Bureau." Some Democrats, Pennsylvania Senator Bob Casey among them, called the firing, quote, Nixonian. Others claimed the president was trying to derail the Russia investigation by firing Comey and insisted Rosenstein appoint a special prosecutor to oversee the case. And while the ink was barely dry on Comey's termination letter, White House officials were saying it's time to get past the notion that the Trump campaign colluded with Russia to throw the election.
We've heard that time and time again. We heard it in the testimonies earlier this week. We've heard it for the last 11 months. There is no there. It's time to move on.
The White House feels it has plenty of political cover in its firing of James Comey, pointing out that the recommendation came from a man who was just very recently praised by Democrats and confirmed in the Senate 94-6. Brett?
John Roberts live on the North Lawn. John, thank you.